Governor Glenn Youngkin has vetoed a bill designed to protect parents who use or possess marijuana. You're watching 8 News at 5:30. I'm Eric Phillips.
I'm Deanna Albritton. The governor claims the bill would have unintended consequences, but the bill's author says it's a common sense bill to prevent kids from being ripped away from their parents. Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander has a story.
The bill by Richmond Delegate Rae Cousins would have added language to the code clarifying that the state couldn't use a parent or caregiver's possession or use of marijuana as the sole basis for claiming a child is being abused or neglected. Tonight, Governor Glenn Youngkin vetoing a bill that would have prevented the state from using a parent or caregiver's use or possession of marijuana as the sole evidence to prove a child is being abused or neglected.
I have a 2-year-old daughter. And I would hate to, I can't even fathom, her being separated from me on the basis of legal activity.
The bill, which would have also clarified that the possession or use of marijuana shall not serve as the sole basis to restrict a parent or caregiver's custody or visitation rights, comes after the General Assembly legalized simple possession and the adult use of marijuana in 2021.
We've received calls from constituents and also advocacy organizations who have received calls from parents who have had their visitation or custody rights disturbed or taken away just on the basis of a positive drug screening.
Despite that, the governor vetoed the bill, saying, quote, "It's a significant threat to child safety, potentially shielding parents engaging in substance possession or consumption from scrutiny," and adding it will dissuade local departments of social services from implementing necessary protective measures. Delegate Rae Cousins, who wrote the bill, disagrees.
The bill does not state that courts cannot take other factors into account. It just simply says that a parent's custody or visitation rights cannot be limited or disturbed or taken away just on the basis of the legal possession or consumption of an authorized substance.
And now Governor Youngkin has until April 8th to take action on an identical bill that also passed out of both chambers. But given his veto of Delegate Cousins' bill, it's likely he'll veto that one as well. At the state capitol, Tyler Englander, 8 News.